Hey, welcome. William Wood here, and we're going to be talking about the power of visualization today. I'm excited that you've joined me. And let me just tell you a little bit about the topic and a little bit about what we're going to do. But my intention today is that by the time you leave the webinar, that you'll actually have something actionable, something real, something very tangible that you can immediately practice to create results in your life. And so if you're looking to create powerful results in your own life, if you're looking to attract people, ideas, resources, wealth, abundance into your life, today's workshop is going to be really, really powerful. And I think you're going to learn something really amazing. And since 2008, I have been studying the topic of visualization. I've been studying how to make visualization happen on a really effective level. And I've had audio programs go out over 64 countries, and I've personally coached more than 5,000 people in these techniques. So these are really powerful ideas that can help you get results. And not only have I taught other people, but literally I've applied these techniques into my own life, and I have found an amazing ability to be able to get goals. And so if you want to create new results in your life, if you want to create a new world of possibilities, I don't really know a better way to do it than visualization. In fact, right behind me, you'll see that I've got an amazing comfy chair right there. And that comfy chair is where I teach a lot of my local clients or my clients that fly in from out of town to see me how to do the work of visualization. So if you've ever wondered how to make it work, if you've ever wondered, what's a good technique for me to practice, we're going to be going through at least one set of techniques today and probably a guided experience along the way. And it's my hope that I can give you something that will make a huge difference for you. I hope I can give you something that'll make a difference. Nothing brings me more joy than watching someone's life turn around. I remember where I found my own purpose in life. It was on a dirt road in Santiago de Chile. I was 19 years old, and I walked up to a young man on the side of the road. It was a duskish day. It was overcast. The sky was heavy with smog. That city gets a bunch of smog, so much that we couldn't even see the mountains that were right nearby. And he was smoking a lone cigarette on a dusty street corner. And something just poked me inside and told me I needed to go up and say hi to him, so I did. And as I did, I found out that his whole life had just fallen apart. And he was looking for some help. He was looking for ways to put his life back together. I didn't know much at that point. I didn't have much technique, but my heart woke up. My heart woke up to other people. And I want to let you know that the reason that I'm here today is because yesterday I felt inspired that I needed to get out and share. And I know the way that the universe works. The universe connects people that need to connect. And just like I was prompted, inspired to go over and talk to that 33-year-old man smoking a cigarette on a dusty Santiago street, I feel like you and I were also inspired to connect today. And there's a reason that we're here together now. So I'm going to give you lots of value. I'm going to share some powerful ideas with you. And just to finish up that story, I'll finish that story up here in a little bit and tell you what the end of that story was like. But I will say this, in the moment that I met him, his whole life had fallen apart. And he had gotten so low that he actually had decided that night to take his life. And hopefully you're not that low. If you are, please go find some professional help. But again, something woke up in me as I saw another human being, and I learned to connect deeply. And so here, as we spend a few minutes together, I hope that you can see deeply into my heart and see that I'm here to help. I truly am. It's why I do everything that I do. And if you do get some value out of it, I would love for you to go ahead and click the button below and join the Money Mastermind that I've got going on. Because I know that there are ideas, there are tools, there are techniques that I can teach you to help you have a massive breakthrough in whatever area of life you're looking for. Whether you're trying to break through with your health, whether you're trying to break through with your finances, or whether you're trying to break through in relationships. And I've had personal breakthroughs in all three of those areas using the techniques we're going to be doing. So let's get right down into it. Let's dive right down into visualization. So let's talk about why visualizing for just a minute. And this is such a well-taught topic that I probably don't need to spend an awful lot of time talking about why we need to visualize. But one of the reasons we need to visualize, and I'm gonna grab a marker here so you can follow along. And let me just set this book off to one side. And I want to show you why it's really important to learn how to visualize. See, one of the things that if you study the law of attraction long enough, what you'll see that what most people teach is they teach that you need to visualize in order to be able to get a result. And that is true. One of the most powerful ways to draw new experiences in your life is to spend some time each day visualizing. And because I've worked with 5,000 people and I've tracked the results over time, and when I do work with someone, I do ask them to track things because it will help them get results faster. I have them track what they do with their mindset. I have them track their attraction rituals, which are the rituals of drawing new results into their life. But I find that people run into some problems pretty regularly, and this is going to really going to expose one of the hidden aspects of the law of attraction that just most people aren't talking about. And these are things that I train my money mastermind students in. It's things that I train my private clients in, and they're things that I'm sharing with you. These very same ideas. Just tonight, I had a group of people who were here in my office and who had each paid me roughly just under $1,000 to learn these very same ideas, and I'm going to be sharing with you for free. So these are super cool ideas. But let me just draw this out, and I'll turn around the notepad from time to time. But imagine that what we've got here is we've got a human being, and this right here represents the mind. This is not drawn to scale. Your head probably isn't that big related to your body. You'll see why I didn't make it as a cartoonist, but it makes it easy to see. This part of the mind, the smaller portion of the mind, is represented as the conscious mind. This is the part of the mind that has a very important role in life. It has the executive control to decide. Now, this bottom part of the mind is the subconscious mind, and it's the part of the mind that has a couple of different roles. Maybe we'll talk about a couple of them, but there's one role that we're interested in here in a minute, and I'll be sharing that just in a second. But the conscious mind, what'll happen is that when we're very young, usually in what they call the imprint phase, which is between 0 and 7 years old, the subconscious mind will begin to absorb ideas from our surroundings. So where might we absorb ideas from? Well, we might absorb ideas from mom and dad, because most kids are spending a lot of time from mom and dad. Today, a lot of kids are also spending time in daycare, or maybe with an aunt or an uncle or a grandparent or something like that. So they might be absorbing the ideas from daycare or grandma and grandpa's house or wherever they happen to be hanging out. But also, in addition to that, there might be siblings, or there might be television, or there might be radio, or there might be internet. Today I'm seeing kids as young as 2 years old surfing phones and surfing the net. So when you're in this early childhood phase, there's not a lot of filter to what we accept and what we don't accept. And so like a sponge, we draw these ideas, and I'm going to put a P for programming. We draw this programming into the deep subconscious mind. And what's really interesting is that unless we know how to change that programming will tend to stay very, very consistent over a long period of time. So let's just take as an example, let's say that we have a very young child, let's say 5 years old, and the child is at home and mom has just had her wits end with work, or maybe it's dad. We could use either for the example. Let's use dad for the example. So dad's had his wits end at work, and he comes home and he's really frustrated. Little 5-year-old Bobby comes up, tugs on his pant leg, and wants some time. Dad doesn't even say anything, but he just, with his body language, holds out a hand and pushes little Bobby away. And he says, "Not now, I'm busy." Now, the reason he does that is because he's had a tough day. He's been overwhelmed at work. Little Bobby doesn't realize that it's dad's issue. He's just 5 and he feels rejected. And in that moment, he decides, in his little boy brain, I'm not good enough. And so he starts off with a program that says, I'm not good enough. And we're gonna jot this down right here, because you're going to see how this plays out here in just a minute. So I'm not good enough. And again, because the subconscious mind is wide open, and if we had time to talk science, I'd be happy to talk science with you. By trade, I've studied NLP and hypnosis for years and years, and that's where I've done most of my professional coaching work as a hypnotherapist and as a NLP practitioner. And I'm telling you that people will carry around a belief like this until they change it. I have seen people in their 60s continue to carry a belief that was basically formed in a moment just like the one we described, where dad says, not tonight, not tonight. Now, we're not going to blame dad. We're not going to blame the 5-year-old kid. We're just going to say this happens, and it happens with some regularity. This is not the only way that limiting beliefs are formed, but they're one of the ways they are. So we're going to call this belief, I'm not good enough, we're going to call it thinking type A. Doesn't mean it's good or bad. It's just represents this idea. A represents I'm not good enough. This I'm not good enough thought. And what'll happen is, even at the conscious level, and our client here is called Bobby. Bobby is going to walk around for the rest of his life, and he's going to be thinking, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. He's trying to go out and get a good job, and every time he tries to get a good job, I'm not good enough comes up. He tries to start a business, I'm not good enough comes up. It's right in the conscious mind, showing up as self-talk, and it's right in the subconscious mind as well, showing up as impulses, beliefs, or behaviors. And so there you have it. Now, what happens is that at some point Bobby decides that he wants to change. He wants to change the belief. He wants to change the subconscious mind programming. And so he uses his conscious mind in a way to start attracting new results. And he starts to maybe use an affirmation. The affirmation is, I am good enough. And we're going to call that thinking style B. Thinking style B just represents I am good enough. And what will happen is that Bobby will start to repeat this idea and saturate his conscious mind with the idea, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, or I can do it, I can get results, I'm worthy, whatever he happens to be saying. And he repeats this day in and day out and day in and day out. Well, here's what happens at first. At first, the very first thing that happens is that there is a war in Bobby's mind. And the war is happening usually at the conscious mind level. So Bobby will say, I'm good enough. And the little voice that he hears in terms of internal dialogue will speak back to him and say, no, you're not. And if you've ever had that happen, that's like totally the most normal thing in the world to have happen. It's a normal thing to, when you introduce a new idea, to have the mind go, wait a minute, I don't want that. No way, no way, no way, no how. So there's this little war in the mind. But eventually, if Bobby repeats this idea enough, what will happen is there's now what we call a mixed state or a mixed belief, where the conscious mind both believes I'm not good enough and I am good enough, depending on the context. That is as far as most people will ever go. And the reason why they will never manifest or attract the results into their life that they want is that they have not fully saturated even the conscious mind with the new idea that they want. Because remember, if we want new results to come into our life, we have to draw them in. We have to draw them in by saturating our mind and our heart and our soul with that new idea. So that's phase one. Phase one is we now have type A thinking and type B thinking. We have I am good enough and I'm not good enough rolling around the head, depending on the context. But then there comes this magic moment. If you do repeat long enough, what'll happen is that the mind, and I'll just redraw it down here, the conscious mind moves over completely to type A thinking. And so that's down here, right? This is step 2. This is step 1. Step 1 is old programming and trying to replace it. But step 2 is that the conscious mind really fully buys into the new belief. And this will happen to people. And if you ask them, they're like, I've totally changed that old belief. And really all they've done is they have replaced their conscious mind programming. But their subconscious mind programming, I'm sorry, that should have been thinking style B. That was probably a little confusing for you. So the thinking style B is I am good enough. So I've adopted the new belief at the conscious level, but the unconscious mind still has all the energy of the old belief. Well, now let's apply this to something that's a little bit more tangible. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the third step, because the third step is changing the subconscious mind programming. And most people will never ever get there, and then they wonder why they don't attract the results into their life that they want. They wonder why they continually are in a cycle of sabotage and in a cycle of not getting results. So what this looks like with a tangible result. So last year, this is last January, not like just a month or two ago, but a year ago. So this is January 2015. It was January 3rd. I was on the floor in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts playing with my then 10-year-old boy, Caleb. And I had kind of ballooned up in weight. I had gained more weight over the last couple of years than I ever had. And I had just come out of a very difficult time, and like my energy had crashed and made some bad decisions. And my health got out of control, and my weight was at 227.2 pounds. I remember, because I weighed myself that day. And my boy Caleb, as we got done playing, I stood up, he poked me in the belly, and he said, "I didn't know that dads could get pregnant." I was like, oh, dude, you're killing me, right? You're killing me. And it like actually really hurt me, right? It was like a really, really painful experience. And I wasn't gonna take that out on my kid. I just was like, oh man, you're right. But I had let my body go out of control, and there was a belief that I needed to have some weight for safety and protection and comfort. You know, I need to eat to comfort myself. And so I'd put on a lot of weight. And so I started to use the visualization techniques that I'm going to be sharing with you here in a minute, not only to change my conscious mind programming, but to change my subconscious mind programming. But the first step was to convince the conscious mind to decide to choose something new. And after that choice was made, the second step was to start to program the mind to attract a new result in my life. And that new result is attracted and magnetized with belief. Attraction happens when the subconscious mind both thinks and feels the new thought. Let's make it tangible again. One more example. I had a client that was making $36,000 a year before he ever saw me. He's making $36,000 a year here in the United States in his job. And I forget what his job was off the top of my head, but it's been a few years since I've seen him. But he was in this job. He's making $36,000 a year, and he read up about a very successful entrepreneur who had built a massive carpet cleaning business. Some of you know who I'm talking about. That's a nationwide business and was making millions and millions of dollars a year. And he says, well, there's the secret. The secret is that I've got to get into the business of cleaning carpets. And if I do that, I can give myself a raise. So he bought all the carpet cleaning equipment and he went into business, which can be a very good, very lucrative business. 2 years later, he's in the carpet cleaning business making $36,000 a year. He changed his business, but he never changed his mind. Well, then he got frustrated with the carpet cleaning business and he says, well, I'm going to go become a financial planner. I hear that the average financial planner makes, on average, $180,000 a year in the United States, which I think is true at about 3 to 5 years. It's not right away, but within a couple of years, those that survive the initial lean years, they end up making quite a bit of money. And so he goes, I'm going to become a financial planner and I'm going to get my financial ducks in a row. And so he goes in and he becomes a financial planner. And this is when he met me. 3 years later, he's a financial planner and his income is $36,000. And you go, how does a guy go from job to industry to job to industry, change in industries, and still manage to maintain the income? And the reason is he changed his outside world, his circumstances, but he never changed what was in his mind and in his heart. And what had happened is he had a change of scenery, but his subconscious mind still carried that old belief, the old A-style thinking, which was $36,000. So his income never changed. And as we worked together, what I showed him how to do is I showed him how to rewire the brain, to rewire the heart for a new level of income. Because in the moment that you change your thinking at the conscious and the subconscious level, and you powerfully fuse new ideas to a new positive set of emotions, your whole world can change. So let's get real for just a minute. Will, are you telling me that it's my fault that I'm unhappy or overweight or broke? No, don't misquote me. I sent out an email today that said it's not God's fault you're broke, right? And I had a couple people get a little angry with me, so I changed the title. But really, all I mean is that the fault isn't out there. The fault isn't out there. It's not the government's fault. It's not the fault of the IRS. It's not the fault of your spouse. It's not the fault of the God that you worship that you're broke. I mean, maybe it is, but it's probably not, right? It's like what really is to blame, if we're to blame anything, is this programming that we have at the subconscious level. What's to blame is the emotions that we harbor around the thoughts that we're thinking. And that is what's to blame. And here's the good and bad news. Well, if it's just a thought, you can learn to change your thoughts. If it's just an emotion, you can learn to change your emotions. But you've got to, whatever you do, however you do it, you've got to get down. You've got to embed the new idea in the deep subconscious mind. And that's what we're going to be talking about for the rest. So we talked about why. Why do it? Because if you don't, whether it's your weight, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your level of happiness, whether it's your income, you will stay stuck until you change it, and until the change gets past the conscious mind. It does you no good to convince your conscious mind that you've changed if at the deep subconscious level you have not changed. So how do you do that? Well, the good news is there's really just a limited set of tools. And what I specialize in as a coach is I specialize in belief change. I have poured about $100,000 of study, of classes, of courses, of mentors in learning the best tools of the trade to change business belief, to change relationship beliefs, to change health beliefs. And I can't teach you everything I've got in an hour. That's why I have a mastermind. That's why I have a money mentoring program. That's why I do health mentoring one-on-one, so that I can help you change those beliefs if you want more help. And if you do want more help, one of the ways you can do that is to click the button below and to watch that video all the way through, and you can learn more about a money mentoring system that I use to teach people how to get results in their life. But right here, right now, let's go in, let's dive into actual techniques. If you want to do that, make sure you click the button below. You'll love what you got there. And it's an amazing program that's had a major impact on a lot of people over time. But let's go into the how. So basically, you only have really a couple of big tools. I'm a big picture thinker, right? So I'm going to show you just from a big picture, from a simplistic view, maybe simplistic is the wrong word, but from like an easy to understand view. There's basically two tools you have to change your subconscious mind. You have tools that use words, and you have tools that use images or pictures. And today we're going to be focusing in primarily on tools that use images. Sometimes this is called creative imagery. Sometimes it's called guided visualization. Sometimes they're called guided meditations. They're all a little different. They're like different flavors of the same thing. But we're going to be talking about how to use visualization processes now to start changing your subconscious mind. We got about just a little over 35 minutes left before we're going to end the webinar. And before the end of the webinar, you're going to walk away with at least one actionable tool. You're going to take away a tool that you can start to use to embed new beliefs deep into your subconscious mind, new results, new programming, new feelings even that draw in new results. Now, how do you know if you've actually got your subconscious mind reprogrammed or if it's just your conscious mind? And I'm going to give you the litmus test right now. It is your emotions. If your head says $30,000 a month, but your heart goes, right? And it just kind of locks all up like that. You haven't done it, okay? So we want to visualize, or we want to verbalize, we want to see it or say it until we create it. And so how do you go about doing that? And the reality is there's a lot of different visualization tools out there. And I personally know almost 1,000, just under 1,000 different visualization techniques. And you go, is there 1,000 different techniques? There are. There's probably more that I'm not aware of, but there's at least 900 that I've counted. And they all work. So what I'm going to be sharing with you right now is we're going to be going through a couple of exercises here that are designed to be some of the simplest tools that you can use to start using imagery or visualization to embed powerful new ideas into the subconscious mind. So let me draw you one more picture here. This is just going to help you out with the whole, how do you do it, or what are we visualizing type thing. And then we're going to go in and we're just going to have an experience together. We're actually going to do it. Now, if you're driving a car or something, you're not going to want to do the exercise. You can just like hum to yourself or something like that while we're doing that, because I want to make sure you stay safe. If you're like flying a plane, for heaven's sake, you shouldn't be watching this video. But if you are, make sure that you land the plane, and then you can do the exercise, or operating machinery or something like that. But so let me just draw this out. We're not quite there yet. From this visualization exercise, let me just draw it this way. Is it all right if I talk about money goals? Just because that's something I spend a lot of time thinking about, right? So this is you. This is your current state. In coaching language, we sometimes call this present state. It's where you're at now. And this could be, in our example earlier, this was our $36,000 man. And let's say that he wants to go to six figures, so he wants to become a $100,000 earner. And again, I'm not guaranteeing any results here. I'm just saying this is a tool that has been really powerful for a lot of other people. Your results may vary as you apply these techniques, right? They've worked for me. And in fact, I personally used this formula to triple my income. Yeah, it works. It works really well. And so we've got a guy, and his present state is he's making $36,000 a year, and his desired state is that he wants to make $100,000 a year. So this is where he's at. This is where he's going. This is point A. This is point B. And so usually what we teach in visualization is what you want to do is you want to imagine the result that you want in vivid detail. And at the very minimum, you want to visualize it, you want to hear it, or you might want to say it to yourself. That'll help you visualize it. And you want to feel it. So we call that a visual, auditory, and kinesthetic image. So visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So how might you do that? Well, if we got the guy making $36,000 a year who wants to embed a new belief in his subconscious mind so he attracts in new circumstances, new opportunities, new wealth into his life, he's going to do that by he's going to go ahead and do that by imagining sitting in front of his computer, reviewing the year's worth of transactions, seeing $100,000 in income all piled up in his bank account. He's going to see the ones and the zeros. He might even remember the faces of the people that he served to generate that income. Because income is always generated by serving people, by helping people. He might visualize his wife sitting there next to him with a smile on her face, resting a hand gently on his shoulder, whispering in his ear, "You did it, honey. You finally changed your story. You finally made my dreams come true." And he might feel a certain kind of warmth opening up in his chest as he really deeply imagines stepping in to that powerful new future. So you see how that works, right? You see it, you hear it, you say it, you feel it. And that's the whole visualization process. You put yourself out into that moment where your results happen. If you're doing it with your health goals, you do the same thing. You imagine weighing less, you imagine fitting into clothes that you like, you imagine bench pressing more. If you're doing it with health-based results, you might visualize a healthy body. If you're visualizing with relationships, you might imagine yourself in deep love with your spouse or your partner, responding with kindness even when the other person's frustrated or something like that, right? So that's what I call end state visualization. End state meaning it's the goal, the end state that you want, and then you're stepping into it and you're creating a powerful moving experience that helps you really deeply create what you want. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk through this. Is that all right? And this is just, again, a taste of what you get inside of the money mastermind that I'm running, which you can get by clicking the button below. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so now this is where, if you're driving a car or operating machinery, you might want to like mute me for a minute. I'll kind of wave at you in a minute to let you know that it's time to come back. But if you're not, if you're at a place where you're at home alone, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to clear off your desk, you know, create a little space for yourself, you know, back up your chair, get comfy. I like to sit up straight when I do visualization exercises. That way I don't fall asleep. So I'll keep my ears over my shoulders over my hips. I'll put my hands down in my lap, and that just preps the body. Now, I also do these sometimes laying down. For those of you yoga aficionados out there, I do. I'll meditate in shavasana, which is what they call the corpse pose, which is where you lie with your hands open, facing upward. But you don't have to get fancy or focus in that way. You can just focus in your own unique way. So make yourself comfy, and we're gonna just lay the groundwork for the visualization exercise here over the next couple minutes. What you're gonna need is you're gonna need a goal. And if you don't have one, you can make one up, right? 3 areas: health, relationships, and money. Those are the 3 areas that most people are gonna pick. Pick one and pick something tangible. If you don't know what to pick a dollar amount that's $2,000 a month more than you're earning right now, or $1,000 a month more than you're earning right now. If you're earning a lot of money, $10,000 more, $100,000 more than you're making right now. Okay, so just go ahead and pick your number, or pick your weight, or pick your relationship outcome, and let's prepare the body. And one of the things that will consistently help the body visualize more in depth and reach the subconscious mind in a more effective way is to first prep the body by grounding and centering. And for that, I'm going to teach you a process that I call the CAPE process. It's a process that I invented as an easy little acronym to remember what to do. And it stands for centered, aware, present, and expanded awareness. You can do this with your eyes open or closed. If you're new to this, I might recommend doing it with your eyes closed. So when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes. If you do prefer to keep them open, fix your eyes on a single spot. It's up to you. And I'd like to invite you to center your attention on your breath and on your breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out at your own pace. Every breath grounding and centering your attention. And I suppose there's a variety of ways to do that, and there's no one way that's any better than any other way. You can allow yourself to become centered in your own unique way. And once you begin to feel grounded and centered, I would invite you to become aware of your body. I like to start by becoming aware of my head, my face. And I move my attention down the body into the neck, the shoulders, the back. Allowing your attention to continue down the back, all the way down to the toes. allowing every square inch of the body to become centered, aware, and relaxed. And the reality is there's a certain part of your body or a certain amount of your body that you may not put any awareness on throughout the day. So just open up your awareness so that you become aware of all of the space, all of the being that is you. All the way down to the tips of your toes. I always find this a pleasant experience to remember just how amazing the body is, and to become aware of every little nook and cranny as I open up my mind, grounded, centered, and aware. As you continue to breathe in and breathe out, give yourself permission to enter into the present moment fully. This is the P for present. That's in the right here, the right now. It's amazing to become fully present, to leave behind any of those old distractions, walking away from them and stepping fully into the present moment, into this next breath, this next second of awareness. And finally, open up your awareness, expand your awareness out. Reach out with your hearing. For example, in my room, and I don't know if you can hear this or not, there's a slight ticking of a clock. And I can open up the field of my auditory senses, my hearing, to hear the ticking of that clock. As I continue to open up my hearing, I can also notice the noises of the road behind me. Now, I don't know what's in your surroundings, but I do know that if you open up your hearing, that you can create a space that's open and expanded. And when we're open in our awareness like this, we also open ourselves up for new ideas and new circumstances, new realities, new awarenesses. And that's an amazing experience, isn't it? To open up, to become totally present. I savor these moments of expanded awareness. So let me just review. Stay centered, stay expanded while I review the process so you can remember the process. This is the CAPE process. Centered, aware, present, and expanding your awareness. Now, once the body is prepared for the visualization process, it's time to begin to imagine what it is that you want. What do you want? Imagine stepping forward in time to that moment when you get exactly what it is that you want. Be there with it. Step into the experience. See through your eyes, hear through your ears, and feel the feelings of being there in that moment. And notice what that's like. What are you seeing now that you're there? What are you hearing? And what does it feel like to really, truly be there now? And allow the feeling of victory to rise up in you. You have achieved. You have arrived. You feel. And just let that wonderful feeling wash through you from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds just to be there with it. And give yourself permission to fully step into that moment now. Take about 30 seconds. And then when you're ready, give yourself permission to open your eyes and to bring your awareness and your attention back into the present moment, back into the here and now. Opening up your eyes, but bringing with you a sense that you've already created something new. Your results are already beginning to unfold. And what's more important, you've become the kind of person that can get results. I love mentoring people. Once again, one of the things that amazes me over and over and over again is that exactly the right ideas show up in exactly the right moment. Exactly the right people show up at exactly the right time. That somehow the universe connected me and you right here, right now, to have an amazing experience. If you repeat this process over and over and over again, you will begin to change your mind in a powerful way. Your mind will begin to open up to new ideas. New beliefs will begin to form in that deep programming of your subconscious mind, and you will find new results begin to automatically manifest in your life. New people, new ideas, new resources, new opportunities come into your life that bring healing, that bring power. And that's what I commit my life to. My life is committed to mentoring people, to getting the results that they want. And if you want more results in your life, if you're looking for help specifically with money, I have a group mentoring process. And you can click the button below to learn more about that. Make sure you watch the video all the way to the end. You'll learn something powerful. And I'd love to help you out. So that was technique number one. Let's go ahead and review it here real quick. Okay. So technique number one is the CAPE process. Become centered, aware, present, and expand out your awareness. That's technique number one. Technique number two is the technique of visualizing what you want, but more than visualizing, we want to see it, we want to say it, we want to hear it, we want to feel it. See, say, hear, feel. And you put yourself right there, and you go there, and you let yourself just go there completely, and really powerfully experience that. And how often? I tell people that the subconscious mind learns best with repetition. A relaxed mind tends to be a more open mind. So I say go through the relaxation process first. And also after you go through the relaxation process, then secondly, then that's when you want to do your visualization. And how often? I do this daily. Do I miss a day here and there? Sure. It's just like anybody else. But I do this on a very regular basis, and it yields powerful results. It totally transformed my body. I went from 227.2 last year down to where I'm at 180 right now. That's a massive transformation. Massive. That's about 50 pounds, right? Not quite 50 pounds. And with my income, I have used this very same process to triple my income. So powerful, powerful process using visualizations. So can I show you another way to apply this? And then what I want to share with you is I want to share with you just how you can get more info. And if for those of you that are interested in getting more info, make sure that you know where to go and how to get it. My commitment is to educate you. And so even no matter how you decide to move forward with me, always in my emails, I will include training opportunities. And I'll make sure that about once every week or two, I get together with you like this in a webinar, and I'll teach you some new idea, or I'll repeat some idea that maybe you've heard before. But I'm going to give you training value to enrich your life and to help you move forward, because my commitment is to help as many people as possible. And if you've gotten value so far out of what you've gotten today, I didn't ask you to invite somebody back to watch the replay. Invite them back so they can learn the ideas that'll change their mind. Invite 10 people, share it on your social media sites, or email it out to someone. It only takes one idea to radically transform someone's life. And there's at least one awesome idea in here today so far. And I'm going to give you another one right now. This next process I have not seen anybody else teach, meaning I didn't learn it from anybody. Now, that doesn't mean it's not out there. I fully believe that what I'm going to be sharing with you out there, somebody else has probably invented on their own somewhere. But I didn't learn it from somebody else. I learned it through a moment of inspiration. Have you ever had an idea just download into your brain from the universe? That's exactly what happened to me. Sometimes I get a little fidgety when I visualize. So if there's one of you out there going, oh, I didn't do it right, I was all fidgety, my mind wandered. Well, first off, that's normal. And second off, this process I'm going to share with you right now will solve that. This is what I call doodleization. Doodleization. Doesn't that sound awesome, right? Who doesn't like to doodle? That brings me back to being a kid. For a while, I had the dream of being a cartoonist. Now, my palette has changed as I've gotten older, and that doesn't really appeal to me anymore. But when I was a little kid, I was really inspired by Jim Davis, the Garfield cartoon. I was very inspired by Jim Schultz, the creator of Peanuts. And then later on, Calvin and Hobbes. It had me fantasizing of being a syndicated cartoon columnist. And while that's no longer in my dreams, and no longer in my personal vision, it's where the artist inside of me started to wake up. And you don't have to be an artist to use this. All you got to be willing to do is you got to be willing to play a little bit. You got to be willing to doodle your dreams. So I call this doodleization. It's doodling visualization. And I recommend that clients that do this, they do this twice a day for 3 to 5 minutes. I've already done one round of doodleization today, and I'm going to do another one with you here live on camera and show you how I do this. One of my passions is to help people. And one of the things that I visualize on a regular basis is I visualize the right people coming into my life. What do I mean by right people? I know I've got solutions that will help people. I know that, for example, my money mentoring program is a program that will totally change the lives of the right people that come along for it. Now, there are people that aren't looking for it, and that's okay. I'm still happy to teach you, because these will work with your health or your relationships or whatever else. But this money mentoring program really has the possibility to transform people's lives. And so one of the things I visualize on a regular basis is I visualize the right person, the person who needs to connect to me today, showing up in my life through an email, maybe through an advertisement, maybe through a social media post, maybe through a word that someone else speaks, a kind word, a recommendation. But however they show up, to have them show up, so that I can share my heart with them and I can show them an idea that has the potential to change their life. So with that, let me show you visualization, doodleization. Okay, this is fun. So what I do with doodleization is I think about the outcome that I want. I'm going to do one for me, okay? And you might go, Will, this is not the outcome that I want. I go, that's okay. This is my outcome. So I get to pick it. So my outcome for today is I really want to connect with one person. That's my whole goal for holding this whole webinar, is to connect with one person that wants to change their money situation. I want to connect with the right person, the person who says, today is the day, it is my time to change. That might be you, I don't know. Might be someone who watches a replay later on. But if it is you, this is what I'm visualizing. And this is how I've attracted you into my reality. This isn't the first time I've done this exercise today. So here's what I do. What I do is I just pull out a pen and I start visualizing with my pen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing myself. So here's myself. I'm very happy because I'm a happy guy. I love life. I love people. I'm going to give myself a nice heart there because I'm a heart-centered guy. I love people. I love helping people. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on a magnet. So I'm going to draw out a nice magnet here, nice big magnet. And this is the power of my subconscious mind. And so I've got my magnet, I've got myself, I've got my heart. I'm going to give myself a little bit of hair, right? I'm keeping every little bit I got. Okay, give myself some eyebrows and a nose. That's cute, isn't it? Okay, so then what I do, I got this giant magnet and I'm going to do this. And this magnet is sending signals out into the universe to draw in to me the very people, the very person who needs to hear my message, right? That one person who's been praying day and night for answers, that one person who's been hoping and dreaming and visualizing themselves for a solution to their financial situation. For the person who even has a good situation, who is looking for more in life. And that's the person I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this. And really what's in my mind right now is I see a woman's face. And so I'm just going to go ahead and draw that out. And she's also a happy woman because I attract happy people to me because I'm a happy guy. So she's smiling. Okay, we can even see some teeth. I'm drawing with the marker, so it's kind of hard to see them. Okay, we'll give her earrings. Okay, so here we go. She's got earrings. And we're going to give her some hair. She's got a lot more hair than I got. I had a lot more hair when I was a kid. On my Facebook profile, I just posted an image from when I was 16, and my son was like, "Whoa, dude, you had hair." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." Okay, so we'll give her a nice shirt. She's wearing a really nice looking shirt, and here she is, right? And she's out there, very happy, and she's got money on her brain. So we're just gonna have, she's had money on her brain, and that's why she's interested. And that's a money sign. If you can't see that, it's kind of small. But she's had money on her brain, so she's been thinking about money and how to change her money situation. And here I am, and I've also had money on my brain. And I also have people on my brain. And so you see that we're in harmony. We're some of the law of attraction books say we're vibrating at the same frequency, right? And so she's just being drawn in now into my reality, into my sphere. And she's being attracted in to hear the ideas from me, maybe in an email, maybe she's seeing this video, maybe she's reading one of my blog posts right now. And this could be the whole process. Okay, but also here's what I see in my mind. I see that this person not only brings with them themselves, but they also know people that need help. She knows people, and I'm seeing 10 people right now in my mind. And maybe she already knows these people, or maybe these are just people that she's going to influence over time. Because one of the amazing things about being a coach is I'm never just quite sure how far the ideas I teach go. Maybe she influences 10, and one of those 10 people is going to go out and influence 100,000 people. I've had clients that have influenced hundreds of thousands of people. True story. I lead leaders. I attract people to me who are influencers. I help people who like to help people. And so she likes to help people, and she's got at least 10 people that, and it feels like they're already in her sphere of influence right now, but they could be in other places, and they're being drawn to her like she's being drawn to me. I believe in the law of the freeway. The law of the freeway says that I help those that are behind me on the freeway. I guide them to safety like a lighthouse. But also I believe in the law of the freeway, and that is that I'm also following somebody. So I have money mentors, for example, that have produced literally more than 10 times the results that I've ever produced. And so I'm also following. And so as she connects with me, I'm also helping her connect with them. And I'm helping her connect with the people that she has the ability to influence. And that maybe only she has the ability to influence because who she is and who she's become. Isn't that cool? And that's what I see in my mind. And so this is the whole process of doodleization that took us, what, about 4 or 5 minutes. Now, sometimes when I do a doodleization, I also write down some affirmations underneath because that really gears my mind. Or sometimes I'll write a paragraph describing it. I'm just going to write 1 or 2 sentences just so you see how I do this. So I'm going to turn this over so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And if the light doesn't show it, I'll show you here in a second. But I might write, today I attract 1 new client into my sphere of influence. See, I believe in the power of 1, meaning really it's my goal to help 1 person today. Now, I usually end up helping a lot more than that. But today, I want to reach 1 because it's 1 person that has the power to change everything. It's 1 person that can change their family. It's 1 person that can change their community. It's 1 person that can change a nation. It's 1 person that can change the world. And I hope that 1 person is you. So today I attract 1 new client into my sphere of influence. And today, second sentence, and today, I lift, inspire, and motivate her to new levels of success. Okay, so there you go. There's my whole doodleization for the evening. This is the second one of the day. And this starts to powerfully magnetize my mind. Now, while I'm drawing this out, things are happening in my imagination too. So let me just describe what's happening in my imagination, because that's going to be an important part of it. And we're going to wrap up here soon. I got one more thing I want to share with you. Just I want to make sure you know how to connect with me and stay connected. But in my mind, what I saw is I literally saw this woman's face, and behind her I saw at least 10 people. There may be more back there, but there's just 10 that I can see right now. And what I saw is I saw this cord of light going out from my heart and connecting into her heart. The friendship cord, right? This light, the place where we can exchange light, one human being to another. And I saw that light connecting into her heart, and I saw a fire waking up inside of her. And I saw her starting to glow with radiance and power. And then she's like glowing almost like an angel, the angel that she is. And those people that are standing behind her see the light. And then I see little flames of fire lighting up inside of them too. And then each of them in turn turns around and lifts and inspires and motivates someone else. And the beautiful thing about mentoring people is I never quite know just how far that light goes. I believe that you and I have the ability to change the world by lighting one light at a time. And I hope sincerely that today I have lit your light. And if your light has been lit, it is time to wake up and to let it shine. And I'd like to invite you to do that. If you liked what you heard today, you will love the Money Mastermind. The reason that I put this Money Mastermind together, and I've really banded together with some other entrepreneurs to do this, is because I know that there are people out there desperately looking for solutions. Either they've been stuck at the same income for a long time, like the client I talked about earlier, making the same amount of money forever, and they want to break up to the next level, or they're really wanting to pursue some kind of freedom in life. Freedom of time. Maybe they want to be able to work from home. Maybe they want to be able to work from a different location. Maybe they hate the city they're in and they want to live halfway across the world in Bali or in Puerto Rico or somewhere exotic for a little while. And this money mastermind is going to teach you how to unhinge your old beliefs and to really begin to attract a new kind of lifestyle into your life. I can't promise you any results, but what I can promise you is I can promise you that I will connect you to ideas and trainings and resources that will begin to radically transform your thinking. I can show you the attitudes and the mindsets and the behaviors that will change your life. I will show you exactly myself, or by introducing you to other people, how to change the old thinking into new thinking, not only at the conscious level, but at the subconscious level, so that you can begin to attract results into your life. And if you want that, I'm going to invite you to click the button below and to watch the video all the way through. And when you do, you'll learn exactly what it is that you need to do to change. And it all starts by pulling out your credit card and making a decision and deciding that it's your time. So if it's you that I'm talking to today, I'm going to invite you to pull out your credit card and buy. Not for me, for you. Because I know that the ideas that are in that mastermind have the ability to revolutionize everything in your life. So click the button below. Now, if you know somebody that needs to hear the ideas that we talked about today, feel free to share this video, and I would be honored to help them. And also keep on watching your email. I pledge to continue to send you value. When I send you an email, there will be something important inside that email, something to help you change your mind, change your heart. And sometimes it might just be a few words. Sometimes I might send you an audio to listen to. Sometimes I might send you a new video. Sometimes I might be inviting you to a webinar like tonight. But I'm glad you came to join me. William Woods signing off. Remember, click the button below, and I am here to help you make powerful changes in your life. And I look forward to seeing you here soon.